Yeah, this is sad, man. Okay, ma'am, so who do I have here with me today?
Jaqueline Hall.
There he is, my man. All right, I gotta ask, who do I have here with me today, guys?
Thomas Pachosik and Jaqueline Hall.
All right, nice to meet you guys, man. Secondly, I gotta ask, how old are you and how long have you been on the streets?
41, and I was on the streets about 8 years almost.
8 years? Hey man, that's a long time. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here only, so just so you're aware of that. Most people would ask, have you took advantage of any of the, the subsidies or the things that they give you, and like rapid rehousing, things like that? Have you ever tried taking advantage of that, being out here that long?
Yeah, it took like 7.5 years for me to find out about the program, and then we were in iHelp and we ran into one of the Hope team workers, and he put me up on permanent supportive housing. And so through my mental health specialist, they set me up with housing. So it took like 8 years to get off the street, but I'm finally off of it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just barely.
And so what would you say on a scale of 1 to 10? Did they help or not?
Oh, 100% it helped.
That's awesome. Yeah.
The opportunity isn't out there for everybody either. It's a select few that get that opportunity.
I know. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So their general mental health housing there's limited vouchers for that, but then the permanent supportive housing, they don't tell you what it entails, but you have to have an SMI diagnosis.
Yeah, and it's almost like you only can get in if you do drugs, right?
No. SMI is a mental health. Seriously mentally ill.
Yeah. So, I know, but I thought it was also that you had to be under some kind of substance or something like that. No. So just SMI, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awful. Yeah, I mean, most people that I hear talk about the Hope team and their brand new trucks and stuff that they get every year are
it looks like a lot of wasted money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just like a lot of wasted money. Not only that, just after they leave, the who comes, the police comes. So it's almost like if they're side by side, or like Batman and Robin in this thing.
No, it got real bad towards
and
the end.
that's just speculation.
Or Batman and Joker.
There you go.
It's Batman and Joker.
Batman and Joker.
Oh, my shit broke.
I gotta ask you guys, man, what is it like were you guys out here together the whole time together? No? So then let's start with you, man. What was life like out here being by yourself as a man, struggling day-to-day basis? You said
started
8
out
years.
In the winter, man. I was living at hot tubs. I had a small little shirt, like a t-shirt that I was wearing and shorts, and I was sleeping in the hot tubs at night and getting out of them in the morning.
I did that.
Literally. That's what I was pool hopping for the whole winter.
Pool hopping.
Then I got,
hey, you're a smart man.
Yeah.
You thought of that.
Yeah.
I
lived that way for a while, like on my own too, without knowing people out
no
here.
one knowing, huh?
Yeah.
So like you've had to do like at least a cool 2-3 years like that.
Yeah, I did a while like that actually.
I believe you,
moving. I could probably write a storyline in like a little page of all the best pool hopping spots in the valley. For sure.
That's
pool hoppers
awesome,
guide in the valley.
bro.
And your hammock.
And they all have like spas and like saunas.
Yeah.
So like you were in there just
Showers,
like living it
everything.
up. Yeah, that's cool, bro.
But it was on my own. It wasn't a crew or nothing like that.
Of course, that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
The minute you open your mouth and spread the word,
it's over.
It's over.
You lose your spot.
Yeah, and so what about you, ma'am? I mean, what was it like since you weren't together? Could you elaborate a little bit on what it's like being by yourself as a woman out here, on these streets? I know it's horrible.
It's hard.
And I just got to hear it out the cat's mouth.
It's hard. It's dangerous. I mean, being a woman, there's more danger because you're very easily taken advantage of, and you can be overpowered by anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Especially man or beast. But I moved down here from Sholo, so I wasn't really much afraid of being out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
My fear is people, because the people are where you have to fear most, because you never know who's gonna try and hurt you, who's gonna try and steal from you, who's gonna try and like use you or abuse you, and then you never know if somebody's going to try and drug you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because being a woman, you're easily seduced.
You're an easy target, right?
Exactly, because you're weaker than men.
Yes,
honestly,
ma'am.
you are. And so I honestly...
Don't let that fool you. I've been in places with magnetic door handles. You walk in, there's no carpet on the floor, nothing on the walls, and you go to open the door handle and it comes right off. It's magnetically placed on the door. You're in, you're locked in, that's it.
That's
so don't let it fool you. It's scary
crazy.
for everybody,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's
I've been
crazy.
in some dirty ass places.
Yeah, see, that's crazy. That's the stuff I like to talk about, man. I gotta ask this since we brought up, essentially, what it's like out here for both parties, male and female. Have you guys heard about this thing called the Midnight
Productions?
Midnight Productions? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it just speculation?
I will speak 100% on it, but I don't think that it's false.
There you
I
go.
believe that everything that we hear about
There's some truth
to it. And even in like fiction movies, TV shows, there's some truth to what's being said in all of it. Okay, because National Treasure, it's true. It's based off of an actual thing that's happened. They found an old Declaration of Independence that had the river symbol on it, and they had the top torn off and all this kind of stuff, and they found the ciphers and all that. So National Treasure, the movie, is based off of real things.
Yeah.
So I don't disbelieve anything, but I look at it all as a puzzle, and they're just puzzle pieces that will all connect to the right spot and piece together the way that they're supposed to.
Isn't it almost really like the Matrix? Like I hear like people say stuff like gang stalking.
Yeah,
like they literally take you and put you in these snuff films and like, yo, this is serious stuff. I hear that
Child
homeless
trafficking.
people get snatched. I hear that grown homeless men get snatched and took into I don't know where.
It's crazy out here.
Men and women. I mean,
that is whoa.
Depends on what side of life you walk on. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
sure, you can do it by yourself. You can do it in crowds, but no matter how you do it, just stay on the right side of life because it doesn't matter.
You never know, man.
an easy target. An easy target is an easy target.
No family left. There's no trail to you. You're just gone.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10. I mean, if you think about it, that would be the type of person you would want to get.
Yep.
Somebody who's
Family has
messed
no
over
contact.
their family so many times. They've already booted them out. Desperate.
Yep.
So desperate that,
So it's crazy that you talk about that because one of my neighbors in the apartment complex, she's gone missing. And she had a dog, she lived alone, she had a boyfriend, but just one day her cell phone and her ID were missing, but her doors were all locked, everything to her apartment. And she was getting ready to move out, but she took Uber a lot.
Yeah.
And she's disappeared. She hadn't shown up for 2 days, and her mom was worried about her, hadn't heard from her in 2 days.
Man.
So they were reviewing the cameras in the apartment complex to find out when the last time she was even seen on the cameras there, and possibly see if maybe she got into an Uber to figure that out.
That is crazy.
And so it's real. Like, people disappear all the time, and you don't know what happened.
Yeah, that is a tragedy, isn't that though? I mean,
craziest ways too. It's no joke.
Or they don't turn up at all.
it's no joke.
They
man.
disappear and they come back and their brain's just shot. They're just somebody else. You know what I mean?
I've seen that too, where I've seen somebody completely cognate, completely ambulatory, completely self-sufficient, other than the fact that they have a home, right?
Yeah.
And months, maybe a year down the line, these people are talking about neutrons and neurons. I was like, hey.
What the hell?
Protons, neutrons, and atoms.
I don't know if it's the sun frying their brains or if it's the drugs.
Yeah, man.
But it ain't no joke. It's for real.
It can also be traumatic experiences.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
Witnessing something very
That's
traumatic
how I
or
wound up
experiencing
SMI.
it yourself physically.
My experiences out here, it cracked me. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is crazy. So you ended up SMI?
Yeah, I was normal at first, but then like I got into it with some cops one time, and after that, like, they went and they petitioned me in. But like, my view on life is just so very in front of me. That's like realistic. Like, this is what's happened. This is the way it is. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit you. This is what it is.
Not to cut you off, could you tell me how they petitioned you in? Now, is this a crash unit or something?
No, it's Mesa PD. They rolled up on me right down the street here, as a matter of fact, on Broadway and the 101, sitting at the gas station, sitting out front of it, and they rolled up with them and the fire department. And they're like, you're going with one of us. Who do you want to go with? And I was like, fuck you both, you know what I mean? And they decided, well, we'll just take you in, petition you in. And then they told this big-ass story about me and lied
because he was unwilling to seek help or treatment or whatever it was, at the time they came petition you if they feel that there is that need.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did they end up taking you, man?
They took me to CBI out there in Mesa. They held me there.
Community Bridges.
Yeah, they had somebody do like some sort of a review on me, which I don't believe ever actually happened. I was sitting in a chair for 3 days, and that's how they observed me, sitting in a chair for 3 days. But then
first day
they sat up in front of court 17 days later. They held me for 17 total days. They sat up in front of court and swore under oath that all this other crazy shit had happened. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you fucking for real? And then, so I go to get a second opinion, and it's in a closed circuit, right? So you can only get a second opinion of the doctor's written order. So it's another doctor reviewing what the doctor wrote already. You know what I mean? And it's like, so it did me no good. So I fought this. I'm still under court order treatment, and so it's a paycheck for everybody. But now that I got housing from it, I'm like, fuck it, fine. If everybody's getting paid, at least everybody's getting paid. It's fine for me now. But up until that point where I was on the street, still having to go through this court order shit. It was garbage. I watched 5 people raise their families for fucking half a decade off my back while I'm sitting on the street suffering the whole time.
Yeah,
it was a joke. It's scandalous.
That's awful, buddy.
And that's the problem with these organizations that try and help these people, like the Hope Team, like Cass, like
Andre
House. If your people don't know your resources and the resources are how to get what it is to help these people, like the homeless, you're helping by feeding them, providing clothes, but it's not solving the crisis itself. There's not enough housing to get these people housed. There's not enough money to house all the people that are homeless and help them get back on their feet. And that's the problem. Is that now it's becoming basically a crime against humanity to help homeless people.
That's what.
I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about the urban camping law? And has it made any traumatic changes or differences in the people that you know? Like, have you seen people scared? Have you seen
people in jail for nothing?
I know.
The urban camping law has been out, has been there since
forces them into a position.
Since I came back down.
I hear that too.
Since 2021, I knew, especially here in Tempe.
I heard about that. Yeah.
But yet, on every single park sign that they have in city of Tempe, for sure, it states that for urban camping, you need to. It is required a permit. But where do you go to get a permit for urban camping?
Yeah.
Oh wait, then you go to research it. Urban camping is outlawed. It is banned. You are not allowed to urban camp. Okay, but wait a minute. On your sign it says this, but now here it says this. So you're contradicting yourself.
What good does it do everybody to be forced onto the streets up and roaming around at night instead of sitting in a park, getting some sleep, getting up in the morning to deal with life? You have to wander the streets all night long, waiting for the day to open up so you can go to bed in the park.
Literally,
and there's not
the parks
shelters.
used to be a safe haven.
They used to be,
where someone who was homeless could go there and just lay down and just relax, man. And now they're getting arrested. I know.
No, not in Phoenix. Even in Phoenix, because I've been off and on the streets since I was 16.
Wow.
And since I was 16, I remember I was 18, and I stayed at the park right there on 12th Street and McDowell, just north of McDowell. They had a big old pool and stuff, and I stayed there one time, and park rangers rolled up on us because I stayed with a group that went to home base youth services at the time, which is no longer around. But they booted us out of the park and said we're not allowed to stay there.
It's awful.
We used to stay after hours at the home base facility outside the gate when they would close and just sleep in the shadows.
Yeah.
Because it was a safe place. It was private property.
Yeah.
Until they moved facilities, and then they gave the whole thing up and made it to where it was you couldn't sleep there no more. And yeah, even
the number one asset that people on the streets could have is like legal help, for sure, legal resources.
Yeah, man.
That would help a good majority of everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask.
Private property
what do you think we can do?
Not just like cast, like this massive place with thousands of people.
Yeah, just all over.
Community drop-ins, like a small. Maybe you got 50 people in this neighborhood or in Tempe that go to this drop-in, and maybe Mesa's got one too, and Chandler and everywhere else around.
Through word of mouth,
I gotta ask you, how do you feel about guys like me who I don't promise nothing? I'm not telling you, hey, I'm gonna get you a house, I'm gonna do anything. All I do is offer conversation and getting a chance to get to know you and let you tell a piece of your story to somebody who might care.
That's the thing.
The word to get out, man. I mean, exposure is the best thing you can ask for, really.
That's what I do, man.
If you don't make noise, nobody will know.
And that's the problem with all these companies.
Without squeaky wheels, there's no oil. You know?
Cash, Hope, TCAA, freaking everybody gets paid to do their job.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
They get paid. When you take away that paycheck, how many of them will still stay there because they actually care about the job that they're doing?
Very true.
They won't.
Very true.
They won't stay because they're not getting a paycheck. And so then what does that mean to the people that they're trying to help? They don't care. And so when you start caring about the job that you're going to do, you would do it for free.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. I agree.
We keep so many people employed, it's not even funny by being homeless.
Oh, yeah.
And the longer they can keep us this way, the more money they get. And
oh, yeah, man. It's funny money.
It is. It's stupid.
Yeah. And like I told you, I didn't want to keep you guys too long, but I got one last question for both of you guys, man. I got to know. I ask everybody, where do you see your guys' self in the next 5 years from now? And why? If you could think out that far.
I don't.
When I was on the streets, I didn't see me ever finding a way off of them, to be honest. I thought I'd live in my hammock for the rest of my life, is what it seemed like. So, I don't know. Now that things are getting better, there's light at the end of the tunnel, but not for everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just, there's a chance for me. That's what I do know.
That's awesome.
It's hard for me to see the light right now, even though I'm housed and I've got my dogs and whatnot. It's a struggle every day. Yeah. It's a struggle every day. Like my oldest daughter turned 18. She wants nothing to do with me.
Don't feel bad.
And so because she wants nothing to do with me, I see that the way my brain thinks is that, okay, well, she wants nothing to do with me. My other three won't want anything to do with me when they turn 18. So I'm screwed. Like, what's the point? What's the point? I've got nothing really.
You got someone right beside you who wants something to do with you, and that'll take you a long way. Believe it or not, man.
Yeah, and every day.
Believe it or not.
And that's where though every day is still a struggle. Though that's just it's mentally.
Yeah, this is just.
And people don't tell you though that the trauma that people endure can cause autoimmune diseases.
Oh, way more than that, man. Also, but yeah, you're correct. I mean, it's just
so many.
This is like
health issues.
Yeah.
That like I'm seeing like probably 5 to 6 specialists right now.
Yeah, that's.
That I have to regularly see, and that's not even my mental health.
Yeah, see that's huge.
Physical.
That's huge. It is. It's huge, man.
When you're eating once a week or something like this, and
you gotta strive just to eat.
It stresses your body in ways it's not meant to be stressed.
And their housing.
Dude, I seen it when they said, "Hey, they're giving pizza over there." I watched YouTube. Hold up, everything stopped.
Right?
Shit.
Well, because we even missed the first round of food that they had. That was this chicken and rice. And
this is serious.
We missed that batch, and so then we only got some burritos and a couple peanut butter and jellies, and it's like, man, them peanut butter and jellies.
We're not gonna miss. We're not gonna miss those damn pizzas.
We're not gonna miss them pizzas. No.
Yeah.
So their housing system, though.
Yeah.
So just because we get free rent and our utilities are paid for, okay, but we can't afford laundry, so we can't afford life.
Laundry costs so much.
Cleaning supplies to clean your apartment.
Dude, I know.
So you still have to hit the streets and still hustle, so you're still in survival mode.
Of course.
So when do we get to get out of survival mode?
Whenever McDonald's decides that.
Or whenever disability decides that we can get our checks.
Yeah, dude, we don't go. McDonald's forgot that we didn't go to McDonald's because they were good. we went to McDonald's because you could feed a family of 4 on $10.
Yeah,
straight up.
Now it's $80, buddy.
Yeah.
Are you hearing me? Let me say that slow.
Me and her,
It's
$80,
dude.
Both of us at Burger King.
Dude, that's anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care
I
where
won't
you
go
go.
fast food. I would much rather spend $20, $30 for 2 freaking ribeye steaks at the grocery store
And cook them
and
up.
cook them up
Yeah.
than spend that $20, $30 at a Burger King.
Could you
For
believe
one
that?
meal, because I can cook those
And
two
McDonald's
steaks
is
and me and
fake.
you can split it.
The cheese that don't even melt. You can burn that cheese with the torch.
Because it's all processed and it's all
Yeah.
unhealthy and it all contains bad chemicals and it's what's causing the cancers.
Yeah,
and
tell
all
me you've
kinds of
seen
different
the
things.
things on YouTube where they go and buy like a meal at McDonald's. They set it outside for 3 years and it looks the exact same.
Or they put it in the
Oh
freezer,
my God.
or they put it in the
Dude.
freezer,
Dude, yeah.
or they put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen those? Aren't those? What is making it? What's in there that's
The
making it
processed
not
chemicals.
like?
Because it's genetically
Snowmax.
modified food. It's genetically modified food.
And you
Fire
said
retardant.
it. Yeah.
It's
Jeez.
genetically
And
modified.
here we are feeding it to our kids.
And you're not making the bread, so now you're trusting some factory to mix these ingredients
Yes.
that you don't know 100% what's going into that bun that they're serving you from McDonald's or Burger
Yeah.
King, and you're eating it. And think about it, it's about a little over 60 years ago, skin cancer never existed.
Man. Not only that, Lucky Charms in Canada is way different than the Lucky Charms out here.
People's ranches away from them and making it less land
Yeah.
for them to have to ranch on. When they're the ones providing the meat or the corn
yeah.
or the any ingredients for natural food, for good food for us.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, they're
But that's
just.
why I want to live on land.
It's scary. Yeah, you almost it almost makes you want to just go like somewhere
Off-grid?
far off the what you said
Off-grid.
off the grid and just
Grow your
see
own
what I can
food.
do. I don't know how to do shit, but I want to learn.
You should
I'm
watch
screwed.
the Discovery.
Yeah.
Watch Discovery Channel,
Yeah.
the Defy Channel. They've got
Yeah.
some good shows on there about it.
It makes you want to learn, man.
Learn survival techniques and learn about homestead rescue is one of my favorite shows. It talks about people who live off grid and how to live off grid and how to ways to like for here in
Yeah, how to
Arizona,
survive,
a hugel culture
Yeah.
is the type of garden bed that you would want for Arizona because
Yeah.
it requires very little water.
And there you
And
go.
here being in the Arizona heat and the droughts and all that kind of stuff, a hugel culture bed is where it's at.
Well, let's get out of here before these people get too crazy, man. I want to thank you guys so much for this interview. It's been hey man, you've been a gentleman and a scholar, man.
Thank you.
You too, young lady, man. It's always a pleasure. Hey, next time I see you guys, man, maybe it'll be on you'll be up and up, maybe doing what you guys really want to do in life, man.
Maybe
you guys
we'll be
are
wearing matching
amazing.
socks.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you
sure.
guys so much, man.
All right.
God bless you guys. Have a good one.
Good night.
Yep.
Hey,